them.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Voice is clown.
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
What up, everyone, and welcome to issue 163, or episode 163 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. And, you know, if you're watching the big game, great. If you're watching us...
So are we.
Yeah, we are. It's like I literally have it right here. But anyway, yeah, welcome to Two Fat Guys Pull List. Shout out to everyone that was watching this live, and shout out to everyone that's watching this as a past episode. Completely understand if you are, because there's a football game on right now. But anyway,
Football.
I'd say it was I can't just get into the week. I gotta talk about. I gotta talk about our show sponsors. Like we gotta.
Of course.
So show Hey, so you switched out your chair? Just didn't work out, huh?
Listen, there was some unexpected difficulties with the chair, causing hurt body parts. So we had to move on from the chair.
Okay. Anyway, well,
we're doing it live.
Anyway, let's talk about our show sponsors, and that is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is where we get our comics and all of our other goodies. So if you're ever in the DFW area, make sure to check out Collected Comics and Games. They have 3 locations, one in Irving or Hearst. I don't that one.
Irving and then Hearst.
Then Hearst or Keller, right? Or are they just Hearst? I thought it was
just
Keller.
Hearst. Yeah,
all right,
it was.
Fort
Then
Worth.
moved.
There you go. So got them all right, but get them all wrong. But definitely check them out if you do. Ron's got some pretty cool stuff. Ron and Brent have some pretty cool stuff at their shops. They've got comics, they've got back issues, they got trading cards, they got board games, they've got toys, they've got models, they got plushies, they've got snacks, they've got posters, they've got everything. So head on over to Collecting Comics and Games. It's a great place where you can just nerd out. It's great. Also checked out StayCollected.com if you want to order any of that goodies, all those goodies online. Also, we got to talk about our sub goal giveaway, where we are in the middle of trying to hit 1,250 subscribers. And when we do, we're giving away this Uncanny X-Men number 1, 9.8 CGC grade, signed by, I forget again, Jim Chung. Amazing cover. So you could win this if you're subbed. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And then, as always, we're giving away some really cool shit when we hit 2,000 subscribers. And one of those things is going to be this Donny Cates Thor number 1 Nick Klein sketch variant, signed by the savior himself, Donny Cates. So if you're gonna hit 2,000 subscribers, you can win this. So make sure to do that. Shout out if you're watching this as a past episode, our members, which right now is Holden and John, or not Holden? Is it Holden? Yeah, Holden and John, or is it Hayden? Holden. I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
Now I gotta check because I don't remember.
Where can we look?
On our, oh my gosh, look for me, please. It's Holden.
Okay, you do the thing.
I'm gonna do the thing. Anyways, we've got members, so shout out to y'all for doing that. John, shout out for you also for buying your shirt. We love you for that. It's great, and everybody else has bought our merch. So yeah, we've gained some support there, and we love it. Anyway, let's talk about this week's comics, basically. I thought it was a pretty solid week. There were 2 definitely awesome books.
Mhm.
Just rocked my socks off.
I had a couple
And then
of those.
the rest were just good. They were good.
I thought this week was like better than usual, and so I wanted to see if that was actually the case. And I averaged up all my books compared to the last few weeks. The last few weeks, my average has been like 3.2, 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
We had a 3.9 this week. 3.9.
Okay.
That's quite ahead of average. So
Out of 5, right? Is that what you're saying?
out of 5.
Okay. All right.
Because I've been rating every book on League, no matter what.
Right. Okay. Holden Wood up. There he is. There's our very first member right there. Howdy. Been sick. Didn't match. Didn't make it to pick up my pulls this week, so I won't be watching tonight. So I don't spoil anything myself. Wanted to just pop in and say, have a great show. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I
make sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, starting feeling better, Holden. And we will get you. We're still working on getting our slabs out. It's just been a crazy week. I'm actually starting to get sick, I think. So that's great. But anyway. Yeah, we'll just get into the week. I will. You know what? I read so early. I just remember 2 books that were amazing. I'm sure my outlook on the week will change as we go through the books, but we'll just have to wait and see. But let's just kick it off. I know we're going to start it off with the Avengers, issue number 10 from McKay. Perfectly fine. A perfectly fine issue. We're moving the plot, right? It kind of feels like we're just kind of discarding Kang, even though he is pivotal to what they're trying to do, which is they're trying to find this one moment in time where neither Kang nor the other Kang lookalike, Meridian or whatever, the wizard,
Meridian,
are trying to access, and they can't. So they have to have heroes access them. So he's got his group of heroes, and Kang's got the Avengers. So that's kind of where we're at the moment with this book, and we're moving on to what would appear the next big thing in the Avengers book, which I think is the big summer event. But this issue kind of felt like it alluded to something else as well, something maybe even bigger than the summer event, which is that there is this entity that is threatening to completely wipe out
the dimension.
Yeah, just the existence of things. And this has got Nightmare just spooked as fuck. So now we have a reason why he attacked the Avengers when he did. Does it feel kind of retconny? Yes, but I do like the explanation. So essentially, when Nightmare shows up and, fucks with the team, he's really showing them his nightmare, showing his fear to them. And it's basically a call for help. But because he's a villain and he's a bad dude, he just doesn't know how to do that. I guess he doesn't know how. He only does it the way he knows how, which is to torment people. And so Thor and Scarlet Witch figured this shit out, and we realized that this is where we're headed. That we're headed towards this massive incursion, whatever you want to call it, that's going to wipe out life, everything. I mean, we're talking outside of even the domain, outside of time and space, it's going to be wiped out. And this is a huge event. So we're going to have to wait and see, is this the Dracula event that we're doing, the vampire event, or is this something even bigger?
I definitely think it's something bigger than that. And
here's a question. Are we maybe alluding to what Donny Cates was trying to do in Thor?
Nope.
Well, why do you got to be like that? Like, why do you got to just add shit on your stuff?
Jed McKay has so much of his own stuff that he's been building for years and years.
I know.
He's not interested. Like, he's also probably not going to be like, yo, I'm not going to step on Donny's toes. Like, what if he comes back and does this? I'm sure he's building his own thing that's been years in the making.
You're right. I just want to say, it's got me intrigued. When we immediately jumped to Nightmare in this issue, I was like, oh man, come on, can we be done with this? And obviously not. But then when it ended, and then when when it was actually explained what Nightmare was doing, I was like, okay, you've piqued my interest. Did it make this issue better than some of the other issues? I don't think so, but I feel like there was enough meat on the bone for me that I was like, all right, like this book was not being threatened to be dropped at all, but my interest level has peaked a little bit now that we've kind of introduced something that was interconnected within the issues that we were reading. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. The floor is yours.
You're good. What's up, Jaden? No, I think we're in pretty similar positions. I was faltering on this series a little bit. I was looking back at my ratings and seeing that for like 4 issues straight, it just kept going down.
Yeah.
And this is the boost back up I was really hoping we would get.
Yeah.
And I was not there at the beginning of the book, because the beginning of the book was sort of still seeing the damn Twilight Court fighting the Avengers a little bit, seeing Meridian get into his little pissing contest with King. I was just like, we've done these. I've seen these analogs like fighting each other for 9 issues now. I'm not interested.
Right.
But at least getting King involved, I was like, okay, there's that. And then when Nightmare showed up, I was like, are we just wrapping this up? Because that really didn't get wrapped up. Or like, what are we doing here?
Right.
And then like when that whole Nightmare part was like, oh, okay, there's Jed McKay. There he is.
Yeah.
Because not only was that a really good like character moment for Thor and Wanda, like not just seeing what Nightmare was doing, but like it was still like a compassionate acknowledgement of them, that they actually saw this. They didn't just go, oh, it's Nightmare being a bastard again, like we're gonna go fight him. Like they were like, okay, like we actually see what's going on. I don't know, I really liked that as a character moment for them.
Well, it was smart. It wasn't lazy. It was like, we're building upon something that we've been working on for a little bit. And I guess what I'm saying, what I'd like to kind of jump on is McKay didn't have to do the Nightmare storyline, right? Like he didn't have to do it, because that was established in Gary Jerry's X-Men with Jean Grey. Like remember Nightmare came in and he fucked with the X-Men, right? And Jean Grey came and was like, you're puny. Yeah, right? And got rid of it. And then Jed he brought this Nightmare thing in again, because he even mentions it, like, I'm back here to get revenge because of Jean Grey. Like he said that in like issue 1 or 2 or wherever he shows up again within this thing. And he didn't have to do that. Like that whole attack felt so random in X-Men. And then it felt a bit random in Avengers, because he even, like, McKay mentions it. He's like, hey, Nightmare's like, I'm here to get to just basically regain some clout. And he mentions the Jean Grey thing. And so I like that he took something that was so, just kind of random, and then he put it in randomly. And then we just get this whole massive, like, oh shit moment of like, oh, whoa, where's Avengers going? Where's Marvel going next year? Because clearly something's about to happen. So it's interesting.
My favorite part is not that it was the mention of like the death of all things or any of that, but it was very specifically that he mentions the death of the 8th universe. I literally made sure I wrote it down exactly how he said it, because we don't talk about the 8th dimension as much. Like pretty much the only person talking about that is Al Yu. And so, because we're not talking about the elimination of everything forever, always. The cosmos, the universe has reset. We talked about this we've seen this in Al Ewing's Defenders, right? Like we saw Galactus's mom from the 6th cosmos or whatever. And so, I don't know, having that specifically mentioned is very appealing to me. And I think that will be his Avengers Forever of the run. I think that'll be the ultimate conclusion. Whatever the fuck's going on there, these are just the first seeds. And I find it even more ironic or interesting that you kept calling them incursions, yet you've never read Hickman's Avengers, which is exactly what all that is called.
And see, and I'm using Marvel Cinematic Universe terminology when I say that, because
which is all from Hickman's Avengers.
Hickman's, right?
Yeah. So it just kind of all comes full circle, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I like it. So this book definitely, I'd say it was a solid B, in my opinion. Solid B, and we're jumping back in. John, what up, man?
I was happy with it.
We appreciate the super chat, and we also appreciate you becoming our newest member. So use those emotes, man. Get them out there. Use my face, use Nate's face, use your patois and your beef. Patois. But yeah, I dug it. I dig it. I dug it. All right, let's move.
Was good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, chips.
Yeah.
Pig of the
There's
week.
literally no one. Not one person's going, really? Where'd that come from? But it was also really good.
This issue fucking slapped, dude. So I know that Rainbow posted like a really kick-ass tweet basically saying that this issue had everything. Just absolutely everything. And it did. It had action, it had drama, it had relationship building, it had everything. Character development. And what this really tells me is, John, again, thank you for the super chat. Is that Rainbow deserves to write the Avengers. She deserves to write the Avengers.
That would be cool.
And it almost feels like she's going to. So we've got Captain Marvel here. When she showed up previously, it was kind of like out of the blue, but we all know that she was there for a reason. And what it was is to recruit Jen onto the Avengers. We've seen this before, right? We've seen She-Hulk on the Avengers, but we've seen her as like a berserker version of herself where she's just a smashing Hulk, which there's nothing wrong with. I liked that version of Jen. But, you know, she's asking for her to be on the team because she wants fail-safes. Captain Marvel wants fail-safes within her team even more so. Even though she has Tony, even though she has Falcon, even though she has everybody else on the team, she wants She-Hulk on it. And initially when she started that dialogue, it kind of felt like you were just expecting Jen to say no, right? Just to be like, I'm done. That's not my jam. I'm doing my own thing. But she leaves the door open. She basically says, and I'm kind of going backwards here, but I like that Rainbow left the door open, and we were chatting on via text after we read this. You know, is Jed McKay going to use She-Hulk, or is Rainbow going to be allowed to write in Avengers into the She-Hulk storyline?
Right, even if it's just for an arc or even a few episodes.
Which I think the latter. I think Rainbow is going to be given the opportunity to write the Avengers. What are you looking at? What did you look at that's going to tell me that I'm wrong?
I know that I'm not the only one that says that whatever you're smoking, could you please pass it? I would love some too.
Okay.
Because again, I think Rainbow Rowell is a fantastic writer. She's literally like, she's like a New York Times bestselling author. Like, she don't need to be doing comics. Like, she's
yeah.
and yet I do not think she gets any respect from Marvel upper echelon, and so no one's going to allow her to do Avengers. They're not going to allow her to touch it. I mean, if it was like up to Jed McKay, I'm sure he'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." Or if Rainbow was even like, "Hey, like it'd be neat if we could work this together or do something," I'm sure that would all work. Except they're so touchy with Avengers, especially with them getting back involved with MCU probably in the next couple of years. There's no way. There's no.
Well, and here's my counter argument. What are the sales numbers on this book? Do we know? Are we able to look that up? I've got to assume. You don't think so?
They're not in the top 20. I look at the top 20 every week, and they're
not
never
in there.
It's never there.
Well, okay, that part of my argument's dead. My second part of the argument. So we have Jen obviously set up in the MCU with her show, and it's obvious that she's going to be utilized more within the MCU canon as we move forward. And so I think that there will be parallels, like there have been already within the comics, and I think Rainbow will be the perfect person to actually write an Avengers arc within She-Hulk. And I think you're going to see an Avengers that's going to be She-Hulk, Hellcat, Jack of Hearts, Captain Marvel, and then Rhodey. What else? We need someone else. It's going to happen. I'm telling you. I know that you're like, there's no fucking way. But I genuinely believe that Rainbow is en route to either write an Avengers arc within She-Hulk, or she might actually get to write something like that. But I don't know, man. And then let's get to the other, the first half of this book, which is Shield, Captain Marvel, and Hellcat are fighting fucking demons, and it's amazing. And I thought the artwork was fantastic. I loved seeing Hellcat flex her muscles. I liked seeing Damian show up and say, "Hey, I'm just here to clean up a mess." no, you're there to go see your girl and to see if there's any interest there, and she told you to fuck off, you know. And I thought that was great. You know, it's a random arc. You know, this is a little random 1-2 issue arc, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I think you hit the nail on the head. Rainbow is not getting the respect that she deserves. She is a phenomenal writer. Her She-Hulk run is absolutely fantastic, and I am being absolutely honest with every one of y'all. I am not fanboying out. I'm not fanboying out, and when I say this, I genuinely mean it. I'm not just saying this because it's She-Hulk and she's my favorite character. This comic has everything. It has everything. It checks all the boxes. It does it all. And I just think we just deserve more. And when I say we deserve more, I'm not saying we deserve more from Rainbow. We deserve more from Marvel. We deserve them. We need them to expand the role of this book, expand Rainbow Rowell and her involvement within the Marvel comic book universe. It just needs to happen. And I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say except it's just a fantastic book. And I'm, you know, the next, what is it? I guess next month? I'm not quite sure. There is an opportunity for me where I'm picking up almost every cover of the next issue.
Yeah.
Because I am, and they're amazing. And I'm gladly to do it. And we're going to space next month. So
yeah.
You can't tell me I'm not, you know, it's just going to be great.
Oh, that's the week that has the Nick Klein and the Mark Brooks headshot.
Nick Klein, Mark Brooks, and there's another one. I'm just, it's all encompassing. It's going to be great. So, what up, Patty? How's it going?
The only thing I have to contribute is I do not know how I feel about Damian coming back and there being some tension between him and Hellcat.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't like that relationship at all. It was obviously very unhealthy for her, but like, also don't you dare just put that in there and then not address it later on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Don't leave us hanging. If you're like, she's the de facto Hellcat rider, right? Even if it's just a little bit here and there, but like, don't just leave us hanging on something like that.
Well, and maybe, you know, I'm not, you know, I am. Put another book on Rainbow's plate. Like, put another book on Rainbow's plate and let's have a Hellcat book. We asked for it when...
Chill with those novels, girl. Write some comics.
I'm serious.
You get off the New York Times bestseller list over and over and over and over.
I mean, you can stay there, but I'm just saying, like, you are cooking over here. Continue. Like, just, let's keep going. Like, you're kicking ass. Let's keep going. I want to see it. What's up?
That is a good idea.
Oh, on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, man. That's really good.
I agree. And you know who should be on the Guardians of the Galaxy team? She-Hulk.
I mean, yeah. If it's Rainbow,
no,
okay.
Never mind.
If it's Rainbow, okay.
Never mind. Hellcat should be on the Guardians team.
I'm okay. With that.
She-Hulk can show up. She can be in the first arc, right? And then she'll go back to her book. But Hellcat can be on the Guardians team. I would think that would be kick-ass.
I do want a more traditional Guardians book.
Well, I don't know, because I mean, yeah, you're right. You want a more traditional, but man, Donny Cates's Guardians, where the team was just fucking nuts, where it had Beta Ray Bill and a Cosmic Ghost Rider, like that was and Star Fox was involved. Like, it was awesome.
I still haven't read it. I need to.
You haven't read Donny Cates's?
I need to read it.
I mean, show's over. See you guys later. I mean, he's not doing his homework. Like,
I think I still have the hardcover of the whole thing.
Outro? Should I do the outro? Yeah, let's just do the outro. Bye. Just kidding. Anyway. What? What did
49ers definitely got this game. 49ers definitely got this game.
Oh, are they winning now? Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
All right. Sorry,
sports
football.
Ball.
What? Sports ball. Let's get back to.
We would never be watching sports ball.
Just hit that ball and
hold on a
second. What? Oh.
I forgot that issue in the other room.
What are you doing? Are you changing the chair? Yeah, let's get to chat really quick. Okay, so you said that. Anyone remember the Hellstorm live action series? I do. I did not read that, Cal. What up, Rick? I was like, what intro? I just got here. No, Nate just pissed me off. Anyway, Rao would nail the characters character moment of God. Yeah, dude, they're.
Listen, look at
What'd
my
you do?
girl celebrating.
No, we're not talking sports ball, okay?
I know we're talking
you-
ultimate Black Panther.
Did you find this?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I should have gone to the shop, the earlier shop. To...
Yeah, you really should have.
Okay, well, hey,
It's
do you want
fine.
this? Do you want this one?
No.
I can
That's
give
all
you
you.
this one.
That's all you. I'm gonna get the RB soda. I've already pre-ordered it. So
Okay, all right.
I'll pick up.
Yeah, so let's talk about that first before we even talk about this issue. So, a lot of people were not digging Hickman's Ultimate reboot, right? And when that was ending, the solicitations for this were coming out, and so not a lot of people ordered it, right?
Yeah.
And then Ultimate Spider-Man came out, and everyone lost their fucking minds, which rightfully so, because it's amazing. And so now...
And by then it was too late to order this.
Correct. So everyone either ordered whatever was on stock online, or they rushed the store to pick up number one. When I got to the comic book store, there was a line already at the door, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like there must be some kind of card game.
Right.
And then when I walked in, Mike was like, don't ask. We don't have it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Ultimate.
Right.
I'm like, oh. Yeah, you don't have one? He's like, no. And I'm like, God damn it. He goes, I got those 1 in 10s over there if you want. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I got lucky. After this, I went over to Y2K Comics, which is down the street, and he had one issue left. And it sounded like he only had one issue.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. It got ordered. I guess what I'm saying is and we're talking about it now, is it was severely underordered because there wasn't a huge enthusiasm for the Ultimate series, and then Amazing Spider-Man hit, and now everybody wants a piece.
Yes.
Hopefully, if you got a copy, you bought it for cover price and you didn't get gouged, because apparently that's been going on a lot too, where people are gouging the book, which it does not warrant that. And that doesn't, and that is not a criticism on what happens in the book, because we'll get
Of course
to that.
not. The story is what's important, and you can get the story in all kinds of formats with not
Correct.
paying an insane amount of money.
Right. So
This book will also go back down to about $10 in like another 2 or 3 months.
correct.
At the
So
most,
just-
$10.
Just wait for it. All right, let's get to the good thing. Here's my what am I? It's not criticism. I guess it's my criticism against people, some of the reviewers of this book, which has been the biggest comment I saw about this book was it's forced. Oh, it's not like we haven't seen this before. And when I read those comments, I'm kind of going like, do y'all know what we're doing here?
Mhm.
Right? Like, do you understand what the point of this book is? It's just a different take on essentially a reboot of Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
So there are similarities, and then there are some differences.
Yep.
And I don't know, we have not talked about this book, so I don't know what your take is, but for me, and maybe reading those comments fuels my review of this book, but I find those reviews incredibly lazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I find that kind of criticism incredibly lazy. I thought this book was super fun. I liked the new takes on the characters. Are there similarities? Yes, that's the fucking point. I am digging this raw Khonshu alliance that's, taking over Africa. I like Queen Okoye. I like Shiri just being kind of hammerheadish and kind of bullish. I like that. I like Killmonger. I like where we're going with Storm, even though we haven't technically been told that's her. We all know it's Storm.
Who else is the Wind Rider, right?
Right. I don't know. Overall, I thought this book was really fun. Was it as good as Ultimate Spider-Man? No, but I genuinely find it very fresh, and I find it fun. I want it. I'm going to continue. I'm going to read issue 2. I'm putting it on the poll, and I think I think these books do a great service to what Hickman did over with the Ultimate reboot, because we jumped off like book 2 or 3, I don't remember, because it was just so thick and like political. Like it was just like this big political thriller that I was kind of like, I'm just not in the mood, you know. Right. Whereas I feel like Ultimate Spider-Man right now and this feel very of the idea of what Ultimates was gonna be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
So that's my take.
My only critique, and is very, very small and kind of petty, is that the finale of the issue, the last little thing, was like, it was a little too MCU. It was a little too cut paste from the MCU, but or at least in my experience, that's the way it felt. Yeah, I mean, you touched on a lot of what I had to say. Like my favorite parts are definitely the Killmonger and Storm thing that's going on. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to like, and there was a lot in this issue. Like, one thing I haven't been seeing a lot of in like reviews and stuff is like, to me, like this art was really good. This art was killer.
It was great.
And you know me, I'm kind of a sucker for Vasily anyway, but like, this shit was good. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised at all. And I think at this point, none of us, any person that had any hesitation in the Ultimate line is eating crow right now. I was the number one person. I was like, you can get fucked. I mean, we've been saying it for years, right? Like back in 2020 when we first started, even just kind of getting back into comics, people were like, oh, it's 20-year anniversary. Maybe we'll start Ultimate line again. And, you know, it was the pandemic. They were trying to figure, you know, everyone would say, yeah, they're trying to figure out something new. Maybe they'll restart the Ultimate. And I was just like, you'll never get me to buy a single Ultimate ever.
Right.
And here we are. So I think we're in for a very interesting treat, at least for a little while.
Like deep into it. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to chat here. I missed this book. It's sold out at my store. I only got there 1 hour after it was open. I paid a bit for the Boss Logic cover, but it's not here yet. I want Peach's X-Men, the trailer.
The Boss Logic cover was the Storm cover.
Yeah, that one is pretty dope.
Really good one.
Yeah. Well, this is I already pre-ordered the Peach Momoko Ultimate X-Men book. I know it's going to be great. I've seen some panels for it, and it looks, I mean, it's Peach. We know what she's been doing with Demon. Yeah. It's been amazing. It's going to be great. And
that was just her practice run for this, I'm sure.
Oh my god, it's going to be cool. It's going to be so cool. But overall, I enjoyed this book. I thought it was really fun, and I'm on board with it. You know, so I'd give it a solid A. It was a solid A for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even don't let the hype discourage you from being like, oh, it's just.
No, definitely check it out. I think it's fun. All right, we'll be really short and sweet with X-Men. Definitely a wrap up. You know, just kind of getting us to the end. There's nothing wrong with that, but I will say this was incredibly emotional. But here's the negative. I'll get the negative out of the way. Phil Noto's artwork was not given any justice with the coloring in this book. I know what Phil Noto is capable of, and he's capable of really good things, but whoever the colorist was on this book did not do the book justice. It felt like a crayon, like a coloring book. It did not. That really felt disappointing. It made his lines feel kind of...
I think it's just him, man.
Well, then he did something different.
Maybe he poo-pooed. I'm trying to look it up. But
he did something different then, because it just didn't... The colors felt flat, so his line work didn't pop as much. There were just certain panels that felt... I don't know if I should say this. There were certain panels that felt John Romita Jr.-esque.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. Like, there were panels that just didn't look finished. There wasn't as much detail as there were on other panels, and it just didn't feel like Phil Noto. I don't know. But put that aside. Gary Jerry picks up what happened to X-23, stuck in Sync's mind, and he's trying desperately to keep her alive. And the X-Men are getting their asses handed to them by Nimrod. They're trying to hack the Orca system. They're succeeding. He shows up. He starts beating the shit out of them. We also get a classification for Spider-Man. I don't know if this is done before. You can tell me if I sound stupid or not. But apparently, according to Orcus, Spider-Man is a sub-variant of mutants. He's called a mutate. So he's been wrangled in with the X-Men. Maybe because his DNA has changed. I don't know. But so that's, Spidey's kind of playing around and saying, they're getting their asses handed to him. And he's like, man, my first audition as a X-Men is going horribly wrong because they're getting their butts kicked. Anyway, Sync at some point is not convinced, his team is dying, that he needs to let go of X-23. When he's holding on to her, he can't move. It's like he's got a fever. He's bedridden. And she basically tells him, you got to let go. And so the X-23 that we were given is taken away. She is let go. She dissolves into the ethos and she's gone. And we get a pretty cool version of Sync showing up and kicking Nimrod's ass and retrieving all the X-Men, and we're getting ready for the next big Fall of X books where Polaris is going to show up with Nowhere and do something with it.
Yeah.
But, this issue just kind of felt like, hey, we've got these little storylines that we need to wrap up. We're moving towards the end. So nothing, outside of the emotional baggage that we get with Sync letting go of X-23, this book just kind of felt very, I don't want to say rushed, but just kind of like typical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that maybe outside of Dead X-Men, that's just how it's going to feel outside of the Fall of X books, or Fall of the House of X. So, me.
So the OG Laura Kinney is now officially dead.
She gone.
That was the actual original
Yeah,
Laura Kinney.
she's gone.
I kind of like hate the shit out of that.
I don't, and who knows, maybe there's something that happens that brings her back, but it didn't feel that way. It felt very finite, like she's gone, like she is dead. Like they even said like she's dead. So we'll have to wait and see. But I definitely felt for Sync. I just felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Because he was trying everything he could to keep her alive, and it just wasn't gonna work. So is what it is, man. Is what it is.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. All right, let's jump over to DC. We're gonna kick it off with Batman issue 142 from Chip Zdarsky. The Joker Joker Year 1 Part 1.
Mm-hmm. All right, before you say anything, don't say one thing. I want to read you my my review, my notes.
Okay.
They're short and sweet. Everyone is an expert and a perfect critic when it comes to Chip's run. Y'all need to smoke some weed and relax.
Okay.
There it is. There's my official take. I can elaborate more, but that's my official take.
I didn't have a problem with this issue, but I did feel like I was missing something. But towards the end of the issue, I felt like I learned something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I will say, like, I just felt kind of lost. And I don't like that. But I don't hold it against the book itself. I don't hold it against Chip. None of that. But I did feel very like not how I feel like when it's Ram, where I feel stupid when I read his book. I just felt like I was just missing something, like missing something big. So, yeah. But overall, I had no problem with the issue itself. I did like the difference in artwork and how it was used. I thought that was cool. I did like that. The future or present artwork was very disturbing and made me feel very itchy.
Yeah, that's the artist that works with Lemire on Gideon Falls.
There you go.
So, there you go.
Yeah, just it made me feel itchy crawly, But overall, I liked it. It still felt like Chip, but it did feel like we were it just felt like I was missing a puzzle piece.
Sure, and I totally get that. And what we're doing here, I think, is pretty simple, and it's not a. This isn't a judgment, or this isn't me saying whether it's good or bad, but this is what a lot of comic people ask for, and what some comic people hate. If you have put in the work and you are a longtime reader and you know lots of backstory and you know all the popular Joker stories like Year One, Killing Joke, Year Zero, the Three Jokers, or whatever it's called, you know all this shit. This issue is a huge payoff for you. And if you don't, you're probably a little bit lost. And sometimes you just don't get to be both. This Chip is saying, you know what? I'm going to show you that I have a very good hold of the mythos of the Joker, and I'm going to write a badass story using all that shit. Yeah. And I'm not going to hold your hand, and you need to fucking figure it out and come along with me if you're interested.
Right.
And I'm super okay with that. There were times that I was confused. There were more than one time that I kind of looked up something and said, okay, well, I don't need to dive into that. Yeah, I at least know if I want to get unconfused, I know where to go to figure it out. I don't know. I read the issue. I enjoyed it. I was a little confused. I went to the comments, and it's just blubbering babies for like pages. I couldn't handle it. I was just like, this is stupid. Like you all are all dumb. Like, just because you didn't get it doesn't mean you need to go like talk about this human should never have a job again because you're not smart enough to get what he's saying. Sorry. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that take. I just felt like there was something missing, but when I got to the end, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And that's a creative direction. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if the book had ended and there just didn't, and there that sense of full circleness didn't come, then I would have been like, I might say something. But Chip's not lazy. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I will say, if there's any criticism I have of Chip's run, and I don't know if it's necessarily his fault or if it's more of DC just being silly because they just seem to be doing that more often than Marvel, is that his run does not feel as cohesive as I'd like it to be. And I really don't have any seniority, or I don't know what the word is to really say that, because I've only read Tiny Onion's run, until Chip took over, and it felt when we jumped on that there was consistency. So I don't know if this jumping from story arc to story arc to story arc was present in Tiny Onion's run. But it just feels much more, it does feel choppy in Chip's run. And more specifically, when we jumped into that alternate universe for a while, and it just kind of felt very random as shit. And then now Batman has a Iron Man hand, and then we're over here, and it feels very, we were building up this third persona and fail safe, and now we're, I don't know. That's if there was any criticism, and I'm sure when it's all said and done, it might all feel just 100% full circle, complete, and I'll be eating my words. But at this very moment, it just does it. I will say Chip's run feels a little disjointed, if there was any criticism coming from my end. But that might be on purpose. Like, that might be on purpose, or that might just be DC Publishing just, hey, let's have a nightmare summer horror event, and then let's go right into everyone turns into animals, It might just be that.
I will say that compared to Tinian's, I do feel like it is slightly less smooth in the margins, so to speak. I think Chip has said from the beginning, and has held up true, that he's said, I'm not gonna play simple. If I'm gonna do Batman, I'm gonna do exactly what I do. Right. And he's doing big concepts in every time, and without issues in the middle that are sort of like smooth transactions. He's like, I don't have enough issues to do that, and so I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And that's what it seems like is happening. There might be a contributing factor to it feeling a little choppy.
Well, there you go.
But
question answered.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, Birds of Prey issue 6. Love the art. That the art's back. I actually really liked. Pause, please. I gotta pause. I gotta blow the shit out of my nose. My nose is turning into a swamp. Just.
I wouldn't suggest putting shit in your nose.
Well, can you talk while I go blow my nose, please?
Yes, I will talk while you blow. I'm sure he's gonna say all the same things that I say. I was really happy with this issue. I think we got a good resolution to the Meridian problem. I think this leaves Sin in an interesting category or an interesting place, especially because we've only been doing DC for a few years now, but I had no idea who Sin was before that. She's obviously a character that hasn't been widely utilized in the past 3 or 4 years. So I like that. I like this. There's a possibility to bring her back, and she's actually powered up, and seems like there's something going on a little bit. But honestly, probably my favorite was the flash that we're kind of, or like the glimpse that we're gonna have where we're going after this. Like, well, I think we paid equal attention to both parts of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very excited for this whole like
Barbara thing,
and I like Oracle getting involved. I know people were upset about her being involved as Batgirl, but like when Canary is having the talk with, I don't remember that girl's name at all.
It's like the person that sees the future. I forget it. Like
yeah.
What is it?
I really want to remember her name, but I cannot. Meridian. Sorry, Majera is the Batgirl. Meridian is the good one. So that's
John. Stop it, John.
What?
You said you may think it's funny, but it's snot.
It's not. When after Canary has the and then Cassandra jumps down, and she's like, no, ain't shit happening to Barbara. Like, well, we're gonna fuck someone up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go. And she's like, yeah, we got to build another team. I was like, this is the perfect way to like segue into a new team. Like,
yep.
Some of these people don't need to be involved. It's totally cool. Like, yeah, I'd like Harley to stay on the team, but I really like the direction this is going to.
If I'm being honest, and I think I said this in New Comic Book Day, like, as long as Barda is on the team, I'm cool.
Well, yeah, she's not though. I don't think she's gonna be.
I thought she said she was in New Comic Book Day. You said she was.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Roll the tape. Roll the tape. Go back, Jane. Go back and watch that video and tell me that he didn't say that.
I might have, because it looks like she's on the cover of 8. She's just not on the cover of 7, and she's not listed in 7. But she is listed and is on the cover. So I don't know. We don't know. We don't have enough information to know if she's fully on the team or not.
God damn it. She better be on the team. She's been on a goddamn team. Anyway.
Cassandra Kate is the only one that's a must for me.
No, you're right. I guess, yeah, I want those two on there. But
I will say, 6 issues in, we've completed a full arc.
Yeah.
Think of all the non-Batman Superman titles that we've added in the past year. World's Finest, or I guess a couple years. World's Finest, Shazam, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Flash. We've restarted a couple of times.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey has to be the absolute best first 6 issues, right?
Oh, 100.
Well,
no, I don't know. I don't know the best. I'd say it's up there. Like, it's definitely top 3.
Okay.
Because Green Arrow has been.
Oh, I'm saying this fucks the brains out of Green Arrow and shits it twice out.
Are you sure? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I. No, I don't. I disagree there, because
that's embarrassing for everybody.
How is it embarrassing? I'm not saying. I'm saying it's on par with Green Arrow.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not saying it's below Green Arrow. I'm just saying, like, they're on par, because think about it, Nate. When Green Arrow came out, we were like, I ain't fucking with that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then we read it and we were like, dude, why is Green Arrow good? Like, and we were both like, this is great. And then there was like there was like one issue that was like, and then it got back on track.
I'm not talking about things that have exceeded expectations. I'm just saying overall quality. you're right. If we're talking about exceeded expectation, I expected this to be good from the very beginning. I saw Kelly Thompson said
Okay, all
she's
right,
gonna fuck
okay.
this shit up.
Okay.
But if
not
I'm
saying
talking
she's
about
not.
just, I'm just saying, no, I know you're not. I'm just saying, if we're talking quality, this is to me better than Green Arrow. But see,
Okay.
here's where I know I'm going to lose you. I would say the first 6 issues of this are better than the first 6 issues of World's Finest. I enjoyed them so much better. I enjoyed them. I mean,
I
and I
agree.
loved the 6 issues of World's Finest. Just
I don't
thought
agree.
this was better.
I don't agree. I'm sorry. Like
I
we're
know
just
you
gonna
don't
have to-
agree.
I gotta make a I don't agree emote because I just don't.
Here's the perfect thing: is you don't have to.
I know.
This was always just my opinion.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go backwards because like I don't want to mix right there. All right. Chad, what do you think?
You'll be okay. You're gonna be okay. I promise you.
No, I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night.
No, you'll be able to sleep at night.
You'll be able to sleep at night.
You're
Look.
gonna be okay.
Look,
Let's see.
I'll give it to you. I'll just give that to you. That's fine. We'll move on. We'll move on. All right, tell me about Gone.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I will tell you very quickly.
Did it
So,
fall off? Is it gone?
The last time this issue came out in October, and guess what? I forgot what was going on. And not to be rude, but you know who I also think forgot what was going on? Jock. I think he also forgot what was going on.
Oh shit.
I read this issue and maybe someone mind wiped me. Maybe I had a concussion I didn't know about.
Mind wiped you.
But like I had no idea what was going on in any of this book whatsoever. I didn't realize how it tied back. I don't remember. I can't find my first issue, so I couldn't go look at it. The art was good in some places and just pretty good, whatever,
Yeah.
regular in some. We didn't have as many like big splash pages or like fun big action, which is what I was expecting from a giant magazine size Jock book and what we had in the first issue. So let's pretend like this didn't happen. And we'll reconvene on when book 3 comes out, and I'll read all 3 together, and we'll see if maybe I had an unknown concussion and it totally makes sense. But I literally read this book and said, I'm convinced this has nothing to do with the first issue in any capacity. And that's why I didn't rate the book. I didn't give it anything because it was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well,
that's
what
it.
Bat says. Bat says Gone is Gone.
Gone is Gone.
John says Gone was super disappointing. I hated it. This is going to be a problem for Distillery if they don't put out a couple of stinkers at $8.99. They're done. Only Jock book I read was there's a heart Watcher.
Witches.
I'm sorry. There's a little thing on my screen.
But Witches was written by Scott Snyder, so this is written by Jock, and I'm not shitting on him as a writer. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that maybe we all have concussions we didn't know about. But John, have we put out multiple clunkers? We only have 2 Distillery books. Somna's like fucking all our brains. It's been great. Maybe not Jim's. He's too Puritan for that. But
shut the fuck up. All right, come on. Tell me about the coal. Is this the last issue or is this penultimate?
It's the last issue until it isn't.
Oh god.
Okay, so
okay,
here we are. The one thing that doesn't need to be noted, except I'm going to note it off the bat, is the art. Right? Like we all know the art's great.
Yeah.
I can look at this book, and if you hand me this book and say, "Hey, this book was delayed," and then you look at the art and you go, "Yeah, I fucking get it." Like,
yeah.
Anything you've ever seen by our artist, DeLuise, or however you say his name, everything you've ever seen and as impressive as you've ever seen is all exceeded in this issue. He just goes actually like, I have 3 more inches of dick and was hiding it the whole time. Here it is. This is how great I am.
Okay.
And that was cool. That was really awesome. We get a lot of awesome pink colors and explosions and alien monsters getting blown to bits and super kaiju fights because the kids decide that they're going to combine their powers and be giant kaiju fighting. Because apparently we're all into kaiju now. That's just like what.
Oh yeah.
It went from lame, fat, nerdy white kid shit to like we're all loving it. Okay, great. I'm very happy for everybody on that. But like it's fucking shit. Man, like, goddamn.
That was very dope.
The story was
Okay.
serviceable. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like very didn't have a lot of substance.
Was it better than World's Finest?
No, it was not better than World's Finest.
Oh, okay, cool.
So in the end, what the whole catalyst that starts this book, right, is the little girl's brother goes missing,
Right.
and they're sitting there thinking like, my brother must have been dead the whole time. Here's the catalyst. Here's what we think started, and we're like, let's just go back to see if our family's okay, because we've seen all the families except for the main girl whose brother's missing. She goes back home. They walk in. Her parents are like, oh my god, thank goodness you're alive. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, what did you do with your hair? And she's like, what? And they're like, your pretty red hair, you changed it, you made it darker. And she's like, what is happening? And then her little brother walks in the room and she's like, oh hey, like, here I am, I'm the little brother. And she's like, what the fuck, what's happening? How's my little brother here? And the parents are like, y'all are all being weird, let's go to the living room. And they walk away, and then the kids just all turn to each other like, huh? we're in the wrong time zone.
Oh no.
And they're like, oh no, we appeared on the wrong Earth. The end? Question mark?
Oh my god.
So it's like, wait, so you literally didn't resolve any of the story at all? No idea what's going on. How did we get here? Is this the end? So my 2 cents, my thoughts were, hey, maybe we get a volume 2 and it could be good. It could even give us the answers to the first one. It could be 10 years from now, and at the end of volume 2, I'm going, God damn, the Cole, that's one of the best.
Right.
But if this is the way the Cole ends forever,
ooh,
I could not recommend people looking at this book at all.
no.
It would be a really, really disappointing.
Well, then they got to be doing a volume 2. Like, there's.
You would think so, and I desperately hope so. Maybe wait a year and just get all the issues done before, because I know it takes this long for greatness in the art. I totally get that. I would say though, like the art is super good, the art is super great, and if you're a comic book reader because of art first, I would recommend this. If you are a story reader first, don't touch it until you see there's a volume 2.
Oh shit. All right, well, fair. That's fair. All right.
That's dates. Pick of the week.
I'll try to calm down. I'll try to calm down. Did you read this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I want to hear your
told you.
opinion first.
I liked it.
Great.
But again, I think it says something that I liked it when I was reading it in my bed with a newborn screaming at the top of its lungs. So I think that makes the book even better because I was rushing through it and I still enjoyed it. But I definitely need to reread because this is not a book that you speed read. This is a book that you digest and you understand the intricacies within the dialogue between characters and how much weight and less weight there is between what's going on. And I just didn't get that because I was just reading it. It was like, I got to finish this because I got to, I got my show and like, I got to read this.
Right.
If I put that aside, I thought the artwork was fantastic. The playground, the sandbox we're playing in with this detective who is, getting ready to retire and there's just that one case that keeps on popping up, and this one popped up again, but there's another smudge on the detail within it that he's just got to fix, and it's probably going to be his undoing. That was awesome. And just diving into the brain of our character here and him just being so detail oriented. Obviously he's a detective, right? And like when we got into like him looking at the crime scene and seeing all the symbols and him going like, okay, everything fits here. Oh, what's this? Right? He's like, this bit's new. And when he sees, the what's the word? The deficiencies essentially within the code, that's where his mind continues to start, the gears turn even faster.
Right.
And I think what also makes this book so intriguing, even though it's disturbing as shit, is that we have a companion book written by a completely other author that's looking on the opposite side of the spectrum within this case, which is the actual killer. And so I think that makes whatever we're doing here even more intriguing. So, did I like it? Yes. Do I need to reread it? 100%, because I feel like I missed some details because in between, dialogue was baby crying.
Yeah. So, I obviously love this issue. There's a lot of things I liked. One is, I really enjoy when you give me a description of what your book is going to be like, and you nail it to an absolute T. Ron V was like, "This is a sci-fi neo-noir murder mystery," and while that seems like not that hard of a descriptor to nail, it like totally is, because a lot of people's like perception of what like a noir mystery is pretty skewed, especially now. And James said, "Oh no, not the retiring detective," because there are some tropes in here that are like that can be overplayed and have been overplayed in the past, 100%. But are done with like a really, I don't know, patient mind, or just like attention to detail, right, with being the most perfect blend of unique and appealing to these tropes that we've known forever as a way of almost comedic relief, if you will. Mm-hmm. The subversiveness of this being sci-fi and it is very
what's in the box?
Yes, a little bit 70 for sure. What's that Harrison Ford movie? It's like most famous sci-fi movies of all time.
Oh, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Very Blade Runner. Like that was probably one of the first sci-fi like noir films, right? Anyway, so this hits that. I mean, it's got a femme fatale. He's got the the crazy mystery, and the other blending thing is like, is he involved or is he not involved, or like how does he keep messing up so much? Like, what is all this? And then the two things, and I think I mentioned this to you, the two things that just sort of like did it for me so well was that this guy's like confidant and his femme fatale is an AI, and now a malfunctioning AI. Yeah. I just thought that was a great change on the trope. And then what really kind of like set it in stone that I was like, this is the shit. Like Ron V knows what's up. It's so serious. Like this shit is being serious. We're not joking. And the detective is like following a mystery. He gets like a mouse trail, and he's following it. And we turn to the last page, and we see this big handprint in blood. And we're like, the guy's like, "Oh my god, I know what it is. The killer has 6 fingers."
Yeah.
You're just like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Like, that's the punchline? He has 6 fingers? And it's hilarious, but it's also serious. And I don't know. I started thinking of the Maltese Falcon. I started thinking of Casablanca. I started thinking of all these films that I watched as a nerd in high school. It was just, oh yeah, I'm going to be a director one day and make my own neo-noir film. And it just very much appealed to me. And then, not only was this story great, but you're telling me another writer I really was writing a companion piece to this from the killer's perspective. I am very, very excited.
And that preview in the back got me very like, hey, because like when you see the dead body.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you noticed, but the two characters have definitely already met. When he's just walking down the road and then he just bumps into this random guy.
Yeah.
And they kind of stare at each other and then move on. This does not move the plot in any way. This doesn't tell us anything about any of our characters. Why on earth would you show me for 4 panels that a guy bumping into another guy?
Interesting.
There's our two characters meeting each other right there.
Interesting.
And it's just details like that. I don't know. It just
the plot thickens.
Tickled my pickle in every way.
Tickled my pickle. All right, that should be our next shirt.
Tickle my pickle.
All right, next up in our last book of the night, Pine and Merrimack, issue number 2 from Kyle Starks. Right off the bat, artwork, very good.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. I like the callbacks to all these conspiracy theory. What's the word? Conspiracy theory. secret society, Illuminati, because I don't know if it's fate or if it's really the Illuminati like playing into this. But like I remember seeing a TikTok where this guy went to this random ass island and he found the island where there's a statue of an owl, and like he went in and saw everything, like, and so like
Totally.
and we get
Yeah,
that
it's
here. We get
totally real.
huh?
Yeah, that's totally real.
I don't know. If I'm not here next week, you know why. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
it's just that was cool. I will say though, it did feel a little. I don't know. I just didn't feel like this issue was as solid as the issue 1, and you may have a different perspective on it.
I agree.
So it felt a little like it started off, in my opinion, pretty solid. Like kind of picking up where we left off, and we had connection from the last issue with that rich wife working at the diner now, and she's out on the street and she's probably shitting their coffee, and that's great. But then when we moved on to getting onto the island, it just felt very rushed. I will say the husband and his ass kickery was really cool. I did like that. I like his just him being an MMA fighter and guns don't matter. I thought that was really neat. But rushing into this senator, establishing the senator and him essentially being part of this political elite that's having sex with kidnapped women, it just felt very rushed. Whereas it felt more established in issue 1, whereas issue 2, it almost felt like it took the back burner, but then at the same time, at the very end of the book, was thrusted upon you. Hey, this is important. And it's like, wait, what about the island? You know what I mean? Why are there hillbillies with M16s running around trying to shoot at you? You know what I mean? Like, it just felt rushed. And I'm not saying I'm jumping off the book, but it just felt very rushed.
I agree with all that, and I think John put it really, really well. What I was feeling is that he's not sure if he's really buying the chemistry between our two main characters yet. And I agree. Like I don't know. It feels a little awkward. All of it feels a little disjointed. Sometimes it felt like what we're defending on this island is very serious. We've got AK-47s, and like multiple times they had our characters dead to rights, could have blown 50 bullets in each of them, and they didn't. And it just felt like, well, this is not very serious then. And then, but no, it's really serious. And throw your phones overboard because they're going to find you and kill you right away. It's like, well,
right.
No, they could have just killed me and they didn't do it. And so I'm hoping we get a little bit more cohesiveness moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. I think everybody's on point when it comes to this book.
But like, it's also Kyle Starks, and he could just do 5 issues of poop, and I'd still buy it to make sure.
I was literally just about to say that. Like, I'm not getting my support will be unwavering because it's Kyle Starks. Like, it's just not going to go anywhere. So,
yep. Mm-hmm.
You've got a book that you want to talk about?
Super quick.
No,
I picked this up out of all books. Godzilla Valentine special. Zoe Tunnell is the writer. She's a really good follow-up. Actually, she doesn't post on Twitter. Been following her for years. Actually, when we first started using Twitter, asked her a few different things, and she was kind enough to like hit me up. This is her first published work, so I was like, I'm gonna support and pick it up. And this was actually really good. Like, I don't really care about Godzilla at all. I'm not a big Godzilla person, but I like it enough that's like fine. And this isn't really that much of a Godzilla story, more of a Valentine's like love story in the midst of a world where there is Godzilla and kaiju. So if you're looking for like an easy little read, you like a little bit of romance and a little bit of Godzilla, I actually really I liked it way more than I expected to. So there's
nice.
That.
All right, well, that is going to do it for this week's issue of Two Fat Guys Pulls 163. Let us know. No, why am I saying let us know? That's a new comic book day. Thanks for everybody that watched. Everybody that was here live and everybody that's watching this as a past episode. Thank you for watching. And we'll catch you guys this Tuesday for new comic book day, which is, it's a little bit lighter, but it'll be good. You know, I know the week after, I'll fucking beef.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yeah. You know what, John?
Yeah, John. Good one.
Deadpool is saving the MCU. And I don't say that. I don't say that as an argument to that everything that's been produced after Infinity War has been poo-poo. I'm not saying that, but I think Deadpool is going to be one of the biggest tools for a retcon / meta influencing tool for the MCU. And if Disney, if Disney, oh, did you order, Patty? Yeah, I know you ordered. I think it's on its way. I know it's en route. But if Disney doesn't take advantage of this, if they just do a one Deadpool and then they're done, I'm going to be very disappointed because I think
No spoilers. No spoilers. No trailer spoilers.
yeah, it's been great. Check it out. It's amazing. I cannot wait for Deadpool. It's going to be so much fun. So that's all I got to say about that. But anyway, we'll see you guys Tuesday for New Comic Book Day, and then Sunday again, where we'll talk about all of our books and more. It's going to be a great time. And again, thank you to John and Holden for being members of the Two Fat Guys channel. You're part of the Fatty family. I mean, everybody's part of the Fatty family, but you just have,
Our beautiful faces.
Yeah, you got our beautiful faces, and you can use our emotes. So we appreciate that. We'll catch you guys live next Sunday. Well, Tuesday, and then Sunday. Bye.
Bye. Go watch the football games. Got 40 seconds left.
Oh boy.
Taylor Swift's gonna win.
See you later.